Joining us now is David Bossie, former deputy campaign manager for President Trump and president of Citizens United. And you working for an outside group. David, always great to see you.
Yeah, hey, David.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk about this latest thing with, since the last time we spoke, about the unmasking, perhaps, that went behind the scenes of the last administration, about maybe even you. National Security Advisor Susan Rice looking to unmask the American 1, American 2 of the interchange with a foreign entity. And the president indicated yesterday that this might have been criminal.
He didn't even say might. He said it was a crime.
And I totally agree with the president. These are criminal acts by somebody who we know has a history of not telling the truth. Susan Rice cannot be believed. For her to be on television a couple of weeks ago saying, I don't know anything about this, and then in the last couple of days having to admit, well, maybe I did it, but I did it for the right reasons. Look, she is somebody who needs to be investigated. She needs a subpoena. She needs to be deposed. She needs to go before the congressional hearings. She needs before congressional intel committees, both in the House and Senate. And I want to see if there's going to be a grand jury convened for this, because somebody needs to go to jail for what happened during this transition. And the president is exactly right.
Do you think this is just about Mike Flynn's name and just about her?
Oh, well, first of all, I have no idea. Look, there was a lot of us at Trump Tower during the campaign and transition. So it's going to be interesting to see what other names were unmasked. And I think that we're going to have to get, whether it's Dr. Farkas, who made that, blundering, admission to really participating in a conspiracy back, on MSNBC that we've talked about. This thing now, we now see the seeds of what is going on, and we need to dig down and really drill into this. As a former chief investigator for Congress, this is ripe. This is ripe for a congressional investigation. I kind of wish I was back in my old spot, because I'd be issuing a lot of subpoenas over this last few days, I can assure you.
How does it make you feel on a personal level? Do you feel violated at all, knowing that over the last year you were part of the Trump team when he was running? Do you feel like you were listened to or you were surveilled?
I don't put a lot of time thinking about it, but I can tell you, because it's obviously not about me. If I fell into that pool of folks, it'll be a shame, because we were doing the right thing for President Trump at the time during the campaign, and we were doing the right thing for America during the transition, trying to build a government from scratch. And it'll be a real shame if the Obama administration was using that for political advantage.
Gotcha.
Which is what President Trump has said from the beginning.
Sure, and it would be tragic because you weren't talking to any foreign nationals. You were just talking to other Americans. So if they were surveilling you, that would have been a
And if you don't trust Susan Rice, if you say she wasn't telling the truth and it's been proven that she hasn't, your personal information, do you trust your personal information in her hands?
Clearly not. You can, look what this administration has done over 8 years. What the Obama administration did over the 8 years, whether it was investigating conservative groups using the IRS as leverage, we know that they will do a whole host of really bad things for America and for the American people. And this is just President Trump once again has hit the nail on the head.
We'll see where this goes, David. Now let's talk about something else that I found very intriguing. Late afternoon, Steve Bannon, it was announced that Steve Bannon would be removed from the Principals Committee of the National Security Council, and income CIA Director Mike Pompeo, who should have been there to begin with, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dunford, is now back in. And the word is H.R. McMaster had that done. What could you shed light on? Because we also understand that Steve Bannon was so upset he threatened to quit.
Oh, well, first of all, I've spoken to Steve and other members of the senior staff, and that's just factually untrue. The New York Times, once again, gets it wrong. Steve did not do anything of the sort. Steve has the full confidence of the President of the United States. Look, General McMaster, he has been able to come in and put his own thumbprint on the national security team that he wants to have. And really, Steve Bannon was put on the National Security Committee because the President wanted him there along with General Flynn, Brennan, his former national security advisor, and I think it was really a check to make sure that the president was being served well and getting all of the right information. The president wanted to really have Steve there just as his eyes and ears. I don't think that that's necessary anymore. I think this is really a nothing burger story at this point.
So,
the controversy was really Steve being put on.
This is inside the White House.
It's the palace intrigue. Look, they're going to make up something because the palace intrigue is always very strong.
Well, let's go from the palace to Main Street USA, and there was some really good news yesterday regarding the jobs numbers. 263,000 jobs were added in the month of March, which is way up from the 180,000 that were expected. You know what, David? In the last 3 months of this young presidency, close to 750,000 jobs have been created. Something's going on.
Well, it's called optimism, and it's called the markets reflecting the hope that President Trump's policies, economic policies, are going to be put through Congress. And Congress better get with the program. They better start understanding what the American people want. And so these job numbers the last 2 months have been incredible for the president. And that's all based on hope, growth, and opportunity, not based on actual policies yet. So I think that this is really Congress's ball to not stall
because
this
you're worried,
opportunity.
David. It sounds like you're worried because you saw health care fall.
Yeah.
You're worried that the tax cuts might not come as quickly as they need to be or at all because of the interest groups and because Congress, even the Republican Party, is not on the same page.
Yeah, I need to see some congressional leadership here. To be quite honest, they failed dismally on health care. And I put all of the blame on Congress and the congressional leadership on this, not the president. Look, the president came in as a change agent. The president came in as an outsider coming in to change Washington. The people inside of Congress have had years to be ready for an Obama care repeal and replace movement. They had 5 months since the election to get ready, and they couldn't come to consensus. That's all on them, not on the President of the United States, who came in and trusted them to put together the right policies. So, look, I believe that with tax reform, it's essential for America's engine to get revved up. We need to see 2, 3, 4% GDP. We need growth, and it's going to come through President Trump's economic plan.
David, a lot of people are excited about these numbers. A lot of people went to the polls to vote for President Trump because of jobs. They also went to the polls. Many conservatives, many of the evangelicals went to the polls. After that Billy Bush video came out, people said, are you still going to vote for him? And they said yes, because we care so much about the Supreme Court. Neil Gorsuch could get on the bench in 2 days. Actually, could be on the bench tomorrow.
That's right.
How do you feel about that? I mean, this was something that he ran on, and many people went to the polls wanting a conservative on the bench.
It is such a great question, and for me, you know, I worked tirelessly for the president during the campaign, for a lot of reasons, but specifically for the Supreme Court vacancy that was the late great Antonin Scalia. Being able to now fill that seat with Judge Gorsuch is a tremendous undertaking for the president. What a victory for him tomorrow. To be able to show the American people, you know, promise made, promise kept. It's really an opportunity for him to say, you've elected me to take on serious issues, really important decisions, and this is one of my first ones, and I'm so excited that Judge Gorsuch is going to become Justice Gorsuch, hopefully tomorrow.
Does it diminish the victory knowing that they have to do it through through the nuclear option?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, I hope the president gets the message, quite honestly, that the Democrats are not the place to go. These people in both the House and the Senate dislike him, despise his policies, and will fight tooth and nail against him at every turn. And so to think that they're going to go along with Judge Gorsuch, it was just I said a fool's errand before. Majority Leader McConnell is doing this exactly right. He's showing the American people through the hearing process, through the Senate process, that there is not one thing to hang your hat on to be against Judge Gorsuch. And these Democrats, for partisan reasons, are simply holding him up, and they're going to go nuclear. And I want to send Chuck Schumer a bottle of champagne if he does it, because I got to tell you, that is something that changes the Senate for the better, because now Majority Leader McConnell can just deal with him the way he needs to be dealt with.
I think they got like 4 Democrats came over to vote for him. That's what I think. Dave Bossie, thanks so much.